was like the main guy that was selecting the spies for all the secret services are all around pretty much. So like he was my main the guy that was following me, and my mom and the appointments with my mom a lot. And so yeah, like
So he'd basically be your handler. He'd
well,
get.
he was one of the handler, but sample for the water test, that was done in the handicap school where I met my two buddies. Well, two of my buddies, that I'm still buddies with. Like they remember that place. They don't remember why they would be there. Like we were in the middle of summer, and we were in an handicap school, and like we all had pools. So. And that's where we met and all, and they remember a bunch of the details that I say, but like they don't remember the best because they didn't went through like a regression hypnose and all, like I did, because yeah, like that, yeah, that was like the best thing I could have done, like the yeah, unlock my memory, like because
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like they mess with your head, they raise our memories, and so yeah, it feels good to remember who you really are, like
Now,
yeah.
now this handicap school, could you kind of go into that a little bit more? Because this is the first time I've really heard about the handicap school. Could you tell us a little bit about what that was about and what you had to do there?
Yeah, well, that was the test with the two gaskets. Like the two gaskets were in a little room next to the pool, and were next to the showers, and there were a kind of office with a glass, and there were computers the other side that were like really connected to those like two gasket, and we're going on the step ladder, one on each side, and laying in there, they were strapping her head and closing the gasket. There were two-way speaker in it to talk to us. So yeah, the mission was to go and get those two words and come back, say those two words, and they would stop the waterboarding machine, and open the gasket. So I was the only one that made it that day, and but we all had to go through it, and we were all drugs. And there were a few parents that were checking us in the pool. We couldn't talk in the pool, but me and my buddies, remember, we find a way to talk a bit, like in the filter spot and all, and so we have all those memories, the parents and all, and they remember this too. So yeah, and we had to stay for a few hours there, and after, when we left, like uh my handler came back with the undercover car, so yeah, and when he got in the parking, we were all leaving, all three together, and he made thumbs up. So I made thumbs up too, and so from there I had another appointment to go to with my mom to another school, meet Jack, the main guy that was in charge of the Montauk Air Force Base. So he was one of my elders that was coming to see me regularly at home. So like uh, uh, we had this appointment, and it was to talk about Camp Hero. That was a hard place to go. It was older kids usually that was going there, but there were magical chair, and it was making appear anything you want, and like a fantasy show, so he tells me, yeah, I want to go. So I Camp Hero, I thought they were building Hero on that chair. So yeah, I went, and he gave me an appointment, a time to go and wait on the corner of my street, and my somebody would pick me up. It was my handler. My buddy Steve was already in the car, and yeah, from there, I remember it was a super nice day, in the afternoon, and we went to get Stewart, and Stewart was living probably 15 minutes away from my place. So yeah, we crossed the like the water place, like on the ferry or whatever, and we went and got Stewart. And after from Stewart, we went and get another kid like Michel that was at the Dunkin' Donut, and that's where they gave me that name, like Duncan Cameron. And I had like a badge in French. It's a macaron. So I had that lunch, that cup, Duncan, and that macaron to remember the name and practice it. But I was on LSD, so
Yeah.
I was laughing in the car. So always messing up, Dunkin' donut, Dunkin', so yeah. At some point, almost like a trip. Like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? But on LSD and fucking up my name. So at some point, he told me, "Shut the fuck," and
Yeah.
like yeah. So I was practicing in my mind, but yeah, we all had names like that to practice, and so a 6 hour ride of that, and we got there at Montauk in the middle of the night. They at the Dunkin' Donut, they gave us a bit of LSD with a count dropper kind of thing
Mm-hmm.
in our drinks, and a sweet ride. So yeah,
Now
when
you.
we got to Montauk, that's where we got to the hatch and all, and yeah.
Now, you also mentioned a place where they had monitors, masks, plugs everywhere. There was catheters, and they kept showing you the lotus flower. Now,
Oh, yeah, that's on the chair.
okay, so that's a part of the chair.
Yeah,
So I do want to get to the chair, and I also want to get to the freaking the um, regressive hypnosis, but I want to hold off on that because right now you're in a really really important part of your story. You know what I mean? So I don't want to skip through this stuff and get to that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I did want to talk about that though because that did stick out to me. But the one thing that I do want you to talk about a little bit more is this astral realm. Now at least I understand astral projection. Okay. Um,
yeah,
Now, do you see astral projection as different from remote viewing?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Could you kind of fill
Remote
us?
viewing is more instinct, like a kind of thing, to sample, like you point on the map and whatever, and and you go you have hints of what's surrounding, and to build the image, but astral projection is more going there and digging in there and like a ghost. So that's what they were training us to do, the astral projection part, to but the remote viewing, I was teach by a legend, Joe McMonteagle. Like, he came at school, I had him for a few days, my class, and he trained us, a super nice guy. Nothing really, I really want to specify this guy has nothing to do with the project or nothing. It was just another CIA asset that was training kids to do remote viewing. So
Mm-hmm.
a gentleman. I really this guy is nothing to do with the abuse, and I want to specify that, because the guy doesn't deserve a bad reputation. He's a really nice guy. So he was, and
Okay.
when I was a kid. So
That's good. So now I did want to get that out of the way, clear that up, so that we do understand that you're discussing astral projection rather than remote viewing. Because in one of your interviews, you said that when you're astral projecting, you're like a ghost.
yeah.
Could you kind of elaborate on that and tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, like you're really like a ghost, like you're flying and like you go where you want, like there's no space or time limit or like yeah, like when you they build us for that to do this, like that's why all the LSD, that's why all the mind, like the doors of the mind opening and like all those training and like yeah, like we got built and brought to this level, like so
Okay.
yeah,
Now, you also mentioned too that like you can travel to where you want to go by thought. You
yeah,
just think about it and you're there.
yeah, like you just like you that's how it works, like like you focus to meditation and all, and like when you're leaving your body, like like uh you think of where you want to go and you just like it brings you there, like it's just like everything's automatic kind of thing, like
Yeah.
it's smooth, it's like and like your light, your like the sensation is awesome, like yeah, that's a cool trip.
No, one thing I do know from my research into astral projection is like for me the difference between astral projection and remote viewing is basically with remote viewing you don't leave your body, whereas with astral projection you leave your
Yeah,
body and go somewhere else.
yeah,
Now the one thing that I always found curious was that like your spirit, I guess, is got like a self defense mechanism to where if your body is being put in danger, to where like say another entity is trying to take over your body, you'll automatically snap to your body. Have you ever experienced anything like that before, where you were pulled back into your body because of something that you didn't know?
Mm, not that I remember of, like because like they build like like through those traumas they build like a series of alter like personalities
Mm-hmm.
in us, so like and like those are built to cope with those like like the those situation that could come like in the future and all, like that was all planned, that was like like it's not dating from yesterday, like there's hundreds like like I don't know how long this project went, because like it's dating from probably Egypt, like so yeah, but like the MK Ultra from the Second World War and the paperclip, because like we had the real Nazi like dealing with us, like me and my buddies, like the Dr. Green, because like I found out that like it's not all the Nazis that were taking care of us that were the same, but they all had the same code, like Dr. Green. So like that was how we were calling them, and like the one that like dealt with us, I recognized him on a picture, okay, and like actually he faked his death, like and like for sure he's paperclip. He was the chief of like intelligence for the Nazi services. Okay, he's the one that built all the death camps and like the gas chambers and all, like to make this productive. He's the one. Uh, Hitler was calling him Iron Heart. Okay, the butcher of Prague.
Okay.
So
Okay. So now,
yeah, that's the guy that like was messing with her head, and like we're a few that remembers him and his office, because we at the end of the school when we all had our certification, we all had to go and see him, and like that's the last time I saw him, and yeah, like I recognize him, like like from the pictures from like World War II, so that's pretty neat. So Heinrich Reinhardt,
Heinrich
yeah.
Reinhardt. Okay, so with these altered personalities, how many altered personalities do you think you possibly have had?
I don't know, like if I go with the like I I don't know if it's matching, because like the test that I did at the Allen Memorial, like it was like I had a bunch of needles everywhere on my head, and like they were keeping my eyes open, and they were like putting drops in them, and it was painful. That was like like you think, oh, that's nothing. that sucked. So but I remember there were like probably 12 or 14 pictures of my brain, different pictures
Mm-hmm.
on the light board, like it's kind of X-ray board or whatever. So I don't know if it's like all the altars they created in me, but for sure I was the grand finalist of all my area. Okay, so like I did all the tests. Like at the end, I was like, "Is there more tests?" I wanted to go and do. No, there's no more. So like they put me in like a unit called reserve. The reserve. That's where like we were like black ops. Like they were like so that's the unit, the reserve. So yeah,
So you were placed in a unit called the Reserved.
yeah, a
Could you
bunch of
kind of
Manchurian candidate kind of thing. Like like and like robots that like yeah.
okay? So could you go into a little bit more detail on what this unit called the Reserve was? Kind of give us a story on that. And you mentioned robots now, or
Oh well, like just because like the way they program us were like machines, like they trigger us like we were like years during that school, the CIA school, almost like twice a week probably, like ultra low frequency tones, like we were doing tests just to get us used to always our tone and like our frequency, and we were like falling up on neutral and like so that's how we take orders, like this and certain words and like like so that's pretty much like the main like so like it's dangerous through a phone to get a phone call like they do that sound, you're on neutral like and you just like take what they say and you do it, and you don't remember because like what you do it and after like you go back to sleep and all and it's all like it was a dream, and the next day that you worked or whatever, there always a crew that are keeping you busy or changing your mind or like and like that's a pattern that I've noticed through like my personal experiences. So like that always like keep you like so that you don't like think about those dreams. But at some point, like there's some missing times too that adds up and like with the dreams, like because like yeah, certain flashbacks are coming out, like so
yeah,
yeah, that's how we like you get to a point where you start to ask questions, like
yeah.
so yeah.
So, with what you're saying there, it goes into something that I've heard a lot of other people discussing, and it's called compartmentalization. And MK Ultra was supposedly supposed to be the kings of
Yeah,
compartmentalization. Um, so, was you ever introduced to the term compartmentalization? And if so,
yeah.
what do you
Oh
think?
yeah, like like they were building a storage, like the storage of the mine, like in different places, in the of the mine. This I remember, and like stuff that like I remember Jack coming to my place and talking to me, and like like when there's stuff like that, you just put this in the and like those lower files, like the files that like you don't go back there, like those are like the so like like the different compartment or whatever like places to put those memories and but like yeah like when you get access to all those places like oh fuck the shock, like to process all you think you're going crazy, they make it so big, so wide, so like wow, like you like imagine me like hey, I went twice to the NASA to get trained and blah blah. You start saying this to anybody like you're a kid, you wouldn't get belief. Like they make it so you pass for fucking nuts. Like but like the thing is nuts. So like and I'm not the only survivor, like there's a bunch of survivor like uh so yeah like I'm not the only one coming out with this, but like at some point, like my story got used by many people, you know, like.